quiet for a moment till we listen. What did I tell you?
The heifer's looking healthy.
They are all right.
He was pleased with them this year. They weren't fetching what they should, but he was pleased all the same. They're still not fetching much, but sure nothing is at the moment. I have the deep freeze full up for fear things will go quiet entirely or the weather come in bad. Half pig from Castlin's, only a portion of the belly used up so far.
How are they these days, the Castlins? I didn't notice Maureen at the funeral.
Maureen married a man in a shoe shop down in Tralee. She's there since.
And Annie'd still be pulling pints in the Master McGrath, would she?
She would. And little Dora's growing up. I'm sorry about Patsy, Finuke and Polly. I meant to say it before.
It's the way things are, no matter. Is it 43 sheep in the heights? I counted 43.
Oh, 43's right. I'd say it would be wild this evening on the heights.
Well, it is. And bitter cold.
Oh, when I came to the hills, a girl, the cold many a time would drive me back into the house, petrified. Wasn't it good of Mina to collect the eggs for me? And Francis made me a sponge cake. Oh, between you all, you have me spoilt entirely.
Ah, we haven't. And it's a long time since I had a fry like this one.
Oh, now you always liked it. I brought you up on fried griddle bread with the 5 of you. I couldn't afford better.
We didn't want better. Hartigan is after the big field.
Year in, year out, he has his eye on it. But with the big field gone, there'd be no farm at all.
Right enough there wouldn't. Kevin will be back in Carlow by now. Girls in Dublin. Aidan looking down at the last of Ireland.
You're good to keep me company, Paulie. It's grand to have you. The few days went slowly, as if it was fitting that they should, as if all that was part of the morning. Paulie took over, forgetting nothing, as you never did yourself. Without a word, he did the milking morning and evening, counted the sheep, brought feed to the lambs, tinkered with the tractor when it didn't want to start. But even so, I managed on my own when he went. Miss Hartigan, come in. Come on in.
Oh, we were passing in the car and he noticed you have a hanging gutter. I'll fix that for her, he said.
Oh, your brother's very thoughtful.
He's up a ladder this minute and I said to myself, I could do better than be stuck waiting for him in a motor car.
Oh, of course you could.
He can't tolerate anything adrift. A slate off and he's on the roof while you turn your head. You couldn't talk sense into that man. He spent half a day over at Coombe Peebra clearing a waste pipe for Con Cronin. Can you credit that? A grown man with cooked food waiting for him, and he down in a drain getting himself filthy. Take care, I said to him when I saw him again, or you'll be receiving your own clothes to wash. I brought you a few slices of the sultana bread.
Now, sit down, Miss Hartigan, sit down. Your kindness itself to bring the bread.
Put a damp cloth around it, it'll keep for a month.
Oh, it's always delicious, kept or fresh.
Well, I won't say it isn't. Ty Quinn was remarking only last evening that he'd walk a mile for a slice of the sultana bread.
Oh, Tyke has a sweet tooth. He often mentions it in conversation.
Oh, he has. Are you all right with the Paulie gone from you?
I am.
Only we were remarking in the car there'd be less for you to do all round if you didn't have the big field a burden on you.
That field was Michael's pride above all else.
There's a good price offered.
I know, but I couldn't.
We're short a few acres for the grazing.
Over the years, Michael made it the mainstay of the farm. He used to call it that. I couldn't see it different.
It's understandable. In spite of what I'm saying to you, no one understands that better than myself. So, what's the way of it with Paulie?
The way of what, Miss Hartigan?
When we saw him about, we were wondering was he here for good.
But Paulie has his work to do. He's gone back to it now.
And isn't it better he would?
I didn't know what Miss Hartigan meant, and when she spoke again, it was as if she was trying to explain. But what she said bewildered me further.
I make my rounds of the hill bachelors, you know. I've done it this long time.
Oh, indeed you have.
Yeah, it's something. They're half forgotten, but still they're there.
I could sense that Miss Hartigan believed her repeated act of charity belonged naturally in our conversation, but to tell the truth, I couldn't see that it did. Yet she continued, lessening nothing of my confusion. I began to wish she'd go away.
Lone men, seeing out their barren lives on the slopes of Slieve na Cush, in the valleys of Knockray, at Lork and Clyda, among the rocks of Coombe Peebre, victims of their own bachelorhood. They were pitied once. But pity dies, and it has died. The same unreliable clay is cultivated, but still the meagre farms do not attract a wife. The work's too hard, kitchen pokey, the loneliness, the wind. Oh, he's done. He was the first of them. The last one's yet to come. Your husband was fortunate in the girl he chose, and you had courage. I stood by my brother. You stood by your husband. Excuse me for being personal. I said too much. I didn't mean to.
Miss Hartigan.
Excuse me for mentioning what I did. I'll bring more of the sultana bread when I bake it the next time.
Sunday, Paulie's postcard said, "I'll come Sunday." And he did.
You're looking well.
He told me about his journey, how a woman was singing on the bus. He didn't say he'd come back for good, that he'd worked his notice out, but I knew he had. He settled in over the weeks, and this time you could tell that he was settling in forever. He was here for me, for the farm, for the family. And I watch him now, making a life for himself out of that as best he can. Once a fortnight he drives me down to Conlon's, and together we shop for what we need. I tell myself that he too could bring up a family in the hills, as you and I did. But all the time there is the whisper of Miss Hartigan's bitter truth, and all the time I know it isn't going to go away.
Evening, Mr. Cashlin.
Paulie. Haven't seen you this long time. How are you at all?
Oh, not bad, Mr. Cashlin. And yourself? Are you busy these times?
Well, I'll tell you the way of it. I'm after doing the books, and I'd say we were. Will you take a small one? I'd pour it for you myself when I'm off to get the tea.
Is Annie out the back?
She is, of course. Annie! Yeah? Give Paulie a paddy on the strength. She'll see you right.
Sláinte.
Good luck.
Damn thing!
Yes.
You had a bad job of it.
She's shook, but she'll get us there.
You're great the way you drive me.
You couldn't walk it.
I doubt I could.
Have you a list made out?
I have, of course. Get rashers instead of the pork steak if the pork doesn't look right. If they've parsnips in, get a kilo, or a swede if they haven't the parsnips.
You'll have it written down.
I have.
Great. Were you telling me he never used to go inside with you when he drove you to Conlon?
I'd bring out the paper to him, and he'd sit there reading it.
We have different ways with us.
You work a longer day than your father.
I do. But sure, I have the age for it.
He'd be proud of you, no matter what.
Ah, well.
There's Maevie back at her payout. She was off for a while, did you know? Would Maevie come over one Sunday? Would you think of it? I like Maevie.
Would we say 4:30 at the car? Is it long enough?
Oh, it is, ample.
We'll say that then. Excuse me, could you tell me where I'd find a pork steak?
Oh, I'd say aisle 4, sir. If there's pork steak on the premises, I'd say aisle 4 at the bio for you.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Are you all right there, Polly?
Oh, hello, Mrs. Flynn. I'm okay, and yourself?
I'm never better.
It's a great load you have there.
Oh, haven't I 9 to feed, though? Still, maybe I should call a halt or I'd be broke to the world.
Would you know where I'd get Vim?
I think it's 8.
Did I keep you?
Ah, not at all. I have everything got anyway.
Did you say hello to Maevie?
She was up to her eyes.
I saw you in the long queue. Sure, Maevie's was a mile shorter all the time.
I don't think they like you talking to the girls.
Get on with you. You couldn't not like Maevie.
Don't I know it?
You used to take her to the 2 screen.
Leave it. Leave it, will you?
Take care, Polly.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
You got left the farm?
I did. I'm living there now.